It goes, I
I
guess,
think
into the
30
court
million
system,
should have
whatever.
been 30 million should have been enough money to give her amnesia, motherfucker. Like, I don't know this nigga. I never met him before.
Ever.
Never. I don't know Puffy, Sean John, P. Diddy, Brother Love, Ciroc nigga. I don't know any of them 5 niggas.
But that's how we know it's some higher powers involved.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Because it's deeper than the money.
Yeah, of course.
You think it's the money though? Honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely. The money we mean as far as like I
Like,
mean, we hear a lot of stuff,
accepting
you know,
things.
we hear a lot of stuff on how, you know, the whole thing with his liquor company was working with, or, you know, I mean, anything's possible. I mean, you think about all these big guys that try to take down from even Jay-Z, that just sounds so real crazy, ridiculous.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You know what I mean? And then, of course, Bill Cosby. With,
And
you
you
know,
see they're going after Shannon right now, Shannon Sharp.
yeah, you know, man, what Shannon, he should know a little bit better.
That was just bad.
That
right
just...
What's going on? What's going on? You already know what it is. Welcome back. We got a special guest with us in the building, Michael Blackson. Welcome to Miami, my brother. Welcome to the Growth, Power, Success podcast. What's happening? What's going on, fellas? How we feeling?
Chilling, shit,
Good,
cooling,
man.
man.
No
Gucci,
sad
Gucci.
stories, man.
Thanks for having me, mother suckers.
Hey, thanks for coming, man. It was a pleasure, man.
Man, y'all live in this beautiful weather every day, man. Y'all live here?
This is life. It's paradise. Welcome to
Every
Miami.
Every day.
Every day.
I'm actually, you know, it's like 99.9% chance I'll be living here very soon.
That means
Oh,
you
okay.
already.
You won't
regret it,
9.9,
bro.
That means
Yeah.
already happening.
What attracted you to Miami?
Well, it's work.
Work,
You
okay.
know, Love and Hip Hop Miami. So
Fire.
Oh, yeah?
I'm about to
Okay.
take the show to another level. Yeah.
Okay.
Man, it's the best city in the world, bro. I promise you. man.
What?
I
Gonna be,
get to live like and be on vacation at the same time, man. Y'all lucky mother suckers.
gonna be turned,
When y'all supposed to
man.
start filming on that?
Next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that's something you're probably looking forward to. But it's
Yeah,
interesting that you would be on that.
But you know what? Is I've been managing a few Afrobeat artists.
Okay.
So there'll be my chance to like kind of like give them some shine.
Oh,
That's my
dope.
main purpose. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna do this just for them. You know what I mean? But I mean, I still do my thing. I still tour. I still do my movies and do my TV shows. But I was trying to get exposure to my, you know, upcoming African artists.
Oh,
You
nice.
know,
What about African Latinas?
that too, man. Whoever got talent, man. You know, I'm about to be like the new Puff Daddy. I'm just playing motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
Man,
Man,
hey,
yeah,
hey,
let's
hey,
stay. Hold on.
We're
we
at the
got-
parties,
Mike, you
motherfucker.
sent to one right next to you.
Who? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that boy raw.
Yeah,
What?
he-
Need a-
Artist.
That
Oh,
boy
you're an
so-
artist?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
right.
you
What?
rap?
Yeah, I rap.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah.
I ran into Lil Pump last night, actually, at the, what's we at? Hard Rock. Yeah, yes.
What's the name of your artist?
You have Gambo. You have Domo. Domo is just a female rapper out of Pittsburgh, but she moved out here now. Gambo is an Afrobeat artist from Ghana. Those are my two main people I'm focused
I
on.
think Afrobeat gonna be the biggest
Oh,
genre
yeah.
in the world.
Definitely.
Honestly.
Facts.
Afrobeat's a vibe, bro.
I love
Yeah,
it.
that shit's a vibe.
Specifically when they dancing to it. Oh my God.
It just feels good. It's
Feels
feel good
It's
music.
a good feeling.
I catch
music,
myself
yeah.
turning it on, it's just driving. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking with
And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't know what they be saying with Afro beats,
You know,
At
right?
all.
but the beat and the rhythm, I
Yes.
ain't gonna lie. I'm being honest. I don't know what they be saying. You know what they be saying?
Hell no, but I like it.
But most of them is like, you know, it's like the like Nigerian pidgin language. That's all it
Yeah.
is. It's like kind of how Jamaicans have their own pidgin. Every country has their own little pidgin language that is speaking. It's just a beat. When you dancing to Afrobeat, you just dance into the beat, not the words. You know what I'm saying? As long as the
You
beat
just-
is nice.
you just vibing to the
Yeah, you
rhythm.
vibe into the rhythm, man.
Yeah.
Or-
Can't go wrong.
How many different languages you speak?
Man, you know, I left my country at a young age, spent time in different places. So I didn't really like stay nowhere long enough to pick up, you know, in my own country, I can't even barely speak my dialect. I know a few hit words here and there. Even spent like 3 years in Nigeria as a kid, and I learned how to speak Igbo. Igbo is like the second most popular language in Nigeria. It's like Yoruba. You're the Yoruba people?
Yeah, I studied that.
You got the Yoruba and you got the Igbo. But I learned Igbo for a little bit, and I was like 8, 9 years old. So by the time I got to America at like 14, I forgot all that stuff, man. So now I just speak Ebonics and and that's it, motherfucker.
Man, you American now, man. It's over with you, man.
Philly.
Do they
Yeah.
treat you like an American when you go back home?
I guess, yeah, of course. I mean, the great thing about going to Africa, man, and you being black, regardless what black you are, man, you like a king over there. Respect you, to love you, to treat you right. Even those who leave and come back, because I think one of the hardest thing for black people outside of America is trying to get a visa to come to the Western world, especially the United States. I mean, Canada might be easier, but like US, to get a visa to come to US, it's
It's tough.
hard.
It's
So
hard.
It's
when you
hard,
get a
it's tough.
visa, it's like you made it.
Fact. No, I know
So
exactly what you're talking about because
so
I got
what I
a
mean,
word.
if you came out here and then you go back, welcome back, because they feel like you made it. It's tough. So you know what I mean. So yeah, they'll definitely treat anybody when I go back home. They treat me a little different. But I'm doing a lot. I'm doing so much stuff back home. But like building the school that really brought a lot of attention to the country on who I am, and people got to study me a little bit. So yeah, I mostly go back to just give back to where I came from.
How many kids you got attending your school right now? More or
120.
less.
So every year I add 20 more. What I decided to do was allow the kids to grow at the school. I didn't want to open up the school and just have everybody go there. I want to like see them grow. So I started off from kindergarten to third grade. Now those kids I was in third grade, the same kids are now in the fifth grade. So it's going on the third year. So now and then I bring in new kids every year, like 20 more kindergarten, but just watching them grow right before my very eyes.
Nah, that's dope, bro. I ain't gonna lie,
That's
that's
fire.
dope.
That's fire.
That's something that, although I've never been to Africa, but I'm tapped in with the African culture to the best of my knowledge.
Oh, definitely.
I always
man.
wanted to do something like that, like build something back in Africa, because ultimately that's where we come from. I'm
Yeah.
Haitian, but reality, I'm from
Yeah,
Africa.
yeah,
Right,
definitely.
right.
all.
Real talk.
You know what I mean? So
Like I was telling you guys, man, in August, me and DC came to Ghana and fell in love with Ghana. In fact, me and him bought a little house on a resort bought a house on a resort when he came on the last trip, and we went half on it. He said, Mike, I said, let's go half. And we just did the paperwork, and we bought a spot out there, and after we're doing a retreat at Treasure Island. It's an island owned by Ghanaian, and we bind out the whole island for like 5 days and invite like 100 people. So that'd be a good experience. to
I'm
come out
going.
there.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm
Yeah,
there.
that-
That's my
that's-
birthday.
yeah.
I'm there.
I'm
Yeah,
going.
We're gonna be
I'm
there.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think every black person should take a trip to Africa, man.
Got to.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that it took us this long, because for a long time, they've been making Africa seem like, like not like they put Africans against each other and make Africa look so bad. But like now, finally, we're finally getting our shine. People have
Yeah.
went there and they fell in love with the place. All my friends I take there, they're all like, man, I'm ready to come back. When you going back? So it's definitely a place for every black person to step a foot in.
Nah, listen, Africa, the vibes, bro. Every time
You
I
was
go,
there?
every time, but I learned something. Every country in Africa is different.
Yes.
Ghana is different from South Africa. South
Yeah.
Africa is different from Egypt.
Yeah.
Egypt is different from Ethiopia.
Yes.
But the best food I had in Africa has come from West Africa. It come
That's
from
right.
Ghana, bro.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, West Africa definitely got the best. I mean, Ghana is great. Liberia, there's another place you have to, take a step in Liberia. I'm not sure you know the history of Liberia. Liberia is where I spent most of my African life. So Liberia, when slaves were left free, majority of the slaves that were left free went to Liberia. They made Liberia home. So back in the 900s, whatever it was, 1890 something, all the presidents of Liberia were all Black Americans. You know what I mean? Because they were the intelligent ones.
Right.
They were the one in America, they got the education. And even though they had no tribe, they called them conquer people. They were
Yeah.
conquered because they had no tribe, but they were and they were the one that were smart because of the education they got in America. And they were presidents all the way up to like 1980 when the last one got overthrown by a native. But yeah, but Liberia has a great Black history for Black people
Yeah.
to definitely, and it's an hour and a half flight from Ghana. So you gotta make a whole trip to Africa, just stop everywhere. You can't forget East Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, if you into like safari, all that stuff, that's East Africa.
That's what we plan on my birthday, Serengeti,
Yeah.
in September. But now you saying
August.
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 I ain't gonna
That's
lie,
getting close, but
I'm doing that. We
Gotta-
doing the
we
August.
might do it.
August might be the move,
I
man.
think that's
But-
the move. That's the
but-
play for us.
Mike, I'm single, so I date a lot of women, right? So I meet these African chicks that come here, and a lot of them say this, and I want to hear from you. A lot of times, even their parents say, "Hey, stay away from the Black Americans. They gonna rob, kill you, rape you, throw you in the trunk. Do not associate yourself with them." and it hurt my heart because we brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
but when I
that's
go to Africa, it's not like that.
Oh no, man.
It's not like that when I'm there.
They ready
But
to
when they
hustle.
come here,
Yeah, it's different.
I guess the program is so deep, you know. What's up
I
with
mean,
that,
a lot
man?
of time it just, you know, it just people want their kids to marry things they're familiar with. You know, they know how an African man's gonna be, and then you know, it's them not knowing. That's the thing. You have to educate them
Yeah,
on who
yeah, that's
you
a
are.
fact.
You
That's
know
a
what I'm
fact.
saying?
That's
And
a
a lot of
fact.
time you can't go judging a book by its cover. You know.
Yeah.
I was raised in America, and if I wasn't raised here, you know, my parents probably want me to marry an African woman or whatever. But because I was raised here, I got to understand black women and who they are, and you know.
No, but what I'm saying, they telling the Africans to deal with even the white people over the American blacks. That's how deep it got. But
there's a
I'm
lot of
being honest with
brainwashing
you.
with
For
that.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some brainwashing that's happening. But once they meet us and we talk, it
But
disappears. Like
yeah.
you
know,
said,
it's
you
all-
have to educate.
It's almost like how Africa's portrayed here. Over there, Africa's portrayed as like jungle, this and that. Same thing with over there, what they see on TV there is like they make blacks look bad. You know, America make blacks look bad over there in Africa. You know, so that's why I said they got to get to know you for who you are.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's a
mean?
fact.
And you just judging the books by cover, or whatever whatever the white man's pushing. And then I blame everything on the white man.
Yeah, straight up.
You know, they make us like the jungle. They make you guys look bad over there. So, you know, turn two against each other. And then I think we're at the point where we're reunited. Trust me, when you go home, you go back after we go there treat like a king. Every woman wants to marry you, right? How many wives you got there? Exactly.
You taking that back to America too,
What?
man. I'm telling you, man. Relationships, man. You the guy.
Yeah.
You the guy.
But you know what? The whole relationship thing, man, you know, for years when I, you know, dated one person and you know, I lied all the time because I'm a man. I'm just a man. I'm an African man. I just don't know how to just be one woman. It will never happen.
Yeah.
Ever. If Beyonce was my woman, I'm cheating on Beyonce. No matter who. Rihanna, yes. And I just can't help it. And I didn't realize that late in life that, damn, I realized that about 6, 7 years ago. And once I did, when I realized that, I became honest, you know. And the next person I said, I'm going to date, I'm like, listen, I'll date you. You be my girl, but I got to do my thing.
Yeah. You decided to live your truth. That's all.
Yeah.
That's important,
That's the
man.
best way to go about it. I got
Yeah.
a question for you real quick, right? Speaking on the African thing, because at times people that come from other countries that come to the States, whenever they become famous or popular, the case maybe, they'll go back home and they'll run for office. Would you ever consider being the president of your country where you originally come from?
And the thing about it, a lot of time, you know, when you come here and you go there, you know, the people there probably feel like you came and you learn a lot
Okay.
from being outside the country. You know, it just Africa. They just, you know, there's a lot of corruption in politics in Africa. In government, there's a lot of corruption. You know, so they figured out like, you know, a famous person with money obviously don't want nothing from the country.
Right.
I already got my money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they almost feel like, you know, I'm there to make my country better. That's why a lot of time they kind of have faith in those who leaves
And come back.
and come back. You know what I'm saying? Would I run? I wouldn't necessarily be the front, my face being the president, but maybe I'll help somebody else.
You endorse someone.
I would endorse someone, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I got too much shit online.
Man,
Too much titty Tuesday and
boy.
twerking Thursdays. You're gonna destroy the shit out of me.
Boy.
You gonna have
And you
60 wives, man.
And
You
you
gonna-
moving to Miami, shit about to be
Yeah,
lit,
it's
boy.
about to be over.
It's gonna
so,
be
yeah.
crazy.
But I would endorse someone and that I really believe would be the right person, and you know, and push them and have the country believe in them. You know, because the stuff I done in Ghana, I got the whole Ghana. I got Ghana in the palm of my hands. Where if I tell them, hey, this person, I trust this person being the president, they'll vote for this person. You know what I mean? So yeah, I won't put my face
So
out
Brief,
there.
go ahead and get a dual citizenship over there. Surrender your
Oh,
American
that's nothing,
citizen
man. We
and
gonna
run
take care of all
for
of that.
president over there.
Nah,
Michael
I've
back.
been looking into it. Cause you know Ghana, they're inviting us back. So
Right.
yeah. You know, so I did my African DNA test specifically for Africa, and it say I was a part of the Khan people in today's Ghana.
Okay, Ghana.
Yeah, Akan,
Akan,
A-K-A-N,
Akan.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
dope.
Today's Ghana, so that's
Yeah,
what my
you
roots
look
go
him.
back
You
to.
look like my cousin, motherfucker.
Yeah. So that's what my blood, my lineage go
You
back
got
to.
Anthony Edwards over here, motherfucker. Do you got a game today? Oh no, tomorrow. What you doing
Next
here, punk bitch?
tomorrow, man. Tomorrow, man.
Tomorrow your game. I'll be watching you, man. Thanks for coming on our show, bro.
Yo, be honest, man. You the flyest African man out here, man.
I
You
try,
get
man.
fly.
I try.
Yeah, you get fly. I be seeing you.
You know, it was a discussion prior to the show who was gonna dress better.
But you
It
know
was
what the
gonna be
thing
you
about I didn't even, when I left the hotel, I thought I was gonna go back to the hotel to change. That's not even what I had planned on wearing.
What you gonna wear, dashiki?
Nah, I wear something crazy, but we left out, and next thing we ran out of time. I'm like, we just gotta come straight here.
Nah.
But next time I got you.
Nah, that's fly. You fly.
Oh, yeah,
See that shit,
he's shitting on me right now.
Nah, you fly.
Don't worry, I got you next time, motherfucker.
Let me ask you this, man, because you've been in the entertainment space for a while, man. Any relationship with Puffy? Because I got some questions for you. So
I never been to a Diddy party. If I did, it probably went at nighttime. They didn't see me, motherfucker. Snuck in there, fuck a couple bitches and ran out. Goddamn. Nah, I never. You know, the thing about it, when all this thing came out on Puffy, I started looking through my picture. I'm like, do I have a picture of this nigga, right? And then, not bad. Yeah, I remember 2 relationships with Puffy. I did the P. Diddy Bad Boys of Comedy back in like 2005, 6. You know, he came up with like on his own comedy jam. It was on HBO. And I saw P. Diddy Bad Boys.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, I saw him on set. You know, he wasn't like, you know, he had a talent coordinator that booked the show. So I didn't want to communicate with him.
Yeah.
But he was at the show. And then 2018, I hosted a NBA All-Star party. It was me, him, and Cam Newton in Charlotte when NBA All-Star was in Charlotte. Okay. So that's a picture I found. I found a picture of me and him but so this is what it is, man. You know, think about it. I'm watching it try. I'm just waiting to see the criminal part of the trial.
That's how I'm at.
What the hell, this nigga? Where did he? Okay, the casting thing was terrible. We all agreed to that. It was 2016. You know, and you know, but I'm like, okay. Besides that, where is the racketeering? Where is the sex trafficking? Because they might sex trafficking. I mean, if you fly a bitch down, excuse my language, lady, you fly a bitch down and on your own plane ticket, that's sex trafficking. Pretty much sex trafficking.
That's what they're saying.
So I tell my bitches, fly yourself down, motherfucker.
Reimburse them when they arrive.
Sex trafficking too, motherfucker.
God damn, so there's no way around it. All right, just pay for your shit.
Don't spend no money on it.
Yeah,
everything
we'll
on when he get here. I guess that's the only way around it.
Yeah, pay you in dick. How about that?
But you know Cassie, she enjoyed some of those sexual
acts.
acts.
Man, there's no way that she was just a victim to all this, man.
You know a hard truth a lot of women won't admit to? But it's like some deep
Basically, you also gotta think maybe she was doing it to please him though. Is that possible?
let me tell you. Some women fantasize. Every woman, I wanna go out there and say every woman have fantasized about like having 2 guys.
They just don't like talk about it.
That's human nature. Like
so
you going against your nature, not even thinking this. Wow, like to be honest with you.
Yeah, hold on. Man.
So Cassie actually got, you know, she fulfilled some of her ultimate fantasies. When you think about it,
I'm trying to get married, brother.
She's just not no victim. And I just seen a text. I seen a text where she told Diddy, "I can't wait." I don't know if it's fake, but I can't wait. I can't wait for another freak off.
And not only that, they say at times she was coordinating, telling the people that's part of the freak offs
what to do. Well, he thought her well. I'm sure that she was.
She was directing her.
Yeah, she's a co-producer.
Real talk.
Yeah. You would know.
She was what her boss is probably telling her. Who knows? I mean, you know, women fall in love and really deep in love. You know, you can pretty much make them do whatever you want them to do. So it's kind of hard to say. You know,
it's just crazy to me how he paid her $30 million only for her to turn around and still testify. Like at some point, his attorney dropped the ball because you should have made sure that was a part of that agreement that you can't testify if it goes.
I think 30 million should have been. 30 million should have been enough money to give her amnesia, motherfucker. Like, you know, I don't know this nigga. I never met him before.
Ever.
Never. I don't know. Puffy, Sean, John, P. Diddy, Brother Love, Ciroc nigga. I don't know any of them 5 niggas.
But that's how we know it's some higher powers involved.
Of course.
Because it's deeper than the money.
Yeah, of course.
You think it's the money, though? Honestly.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The money, what do you mean as far as like I mean, we hear a lot of stuff, you know, we hear a lot of stuff on how, you know, the whole thing with his liquor company was working with, or, you know, I mean, anything's possible. I mean, you think about all these big guys that try to take down from, even Jay-Z, that just sounds so real crazy, ridiculous.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You know what I mean? And then of course Bill Cosby, with,
And
you
you
know,
see they're going after Shannon right now, Shannon Sharp.
yeah, you know, man, what Shannon, he should know a little bit better. Goddamn.
That was just bad.
That
right
was just too, you know what I mean? You preach all this stuff and then you end up with a 19-year-old white girl. Like, come on. You know, that just like, you
Yeah.
know, I can't date nobody that I got outfits older than you, bitch. That shit make no sense. I got
Yeah.
there. Outfits older.
That's
That's funny as fuck.
Ultimately, of course, we don't know, but what do you think the outcome will be with the case? If you
Which
just had to
case?
take
Which
a
case?
guess, Puffy case, Diddy
Oh,
case,
man.
Brother Love, whatever he calls himself, Ciroc boy.
I mean, we have to see how deep this thing go. I'm wondering, are there any other bigger names involved? You know, and is he willing to like give up names to do? I mean, because my thing, when the feds come after you, they got something.
Right.
They ain't just coming to lose a case. So when they give you an offer, you don't, you know, you turn it down. You costing feds money. You know, now you costing them money by going through this whole case. They're not going to lose. It's the feds.
They're not going to lose, but I kind of understood why he turned it down because
Oh yeah,
if they're offering you 5, normally if
Is
you
that
know
what
the
was
system,
offered?
they offered him 5 years. He
Oh,
would have got out probably
Wait.
with
They offered him 5
they
years?
offered
he
him
didn't
5.
take.
He didn't take it?
Hold on.
I didn't even know what the offer
He
was.
didn't take it. So, but here's the thing with that,
Oh,
right?
man,
Here's the
he
thing
tripping.
with that. I probably, well,
You
I don't
supposed to
know. I'm
jump on
torn
5
between it. I don't know
years.
if I would have took it, but here's the thing with that, right? Normally when the feds come to you or come get you or scoop you up, whatever the case may be, they have the case already built on you, right?
Right.
So now, if they're offering you 5, that means they really don't have the case sealed, closed like you think.
That's a low. That's a low amount.
For what they initially threw at Puffy,
Yeah.
they the police should have been like 15, 20.
Fact.
If
That's
they're
true.
offering you 5, I understand why he's fighting it. I understand it
Nah,
based
you take
on the
5 and get
official
out the way,
offer.
bro.
I
You
would
take that 5 and get
If
out
they
the
would
way.
offer 10, 15,
What would
you
you do?
pounce on that because that means they have more
I ain't
evidence
taking
to
5.
hang
Taking
you.
them 5 years.
But if
That's
they
a long
only
time.
offered you 5,
Nah, I'm
that
taking
means
5
you
years.
got a chance to
Nah.
fight it.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
take
true.
5.
5 years, you got a chance to
You
fight
see
it.
what happened to Tory for
Take the
5?
5.
He ain't even been there for
Well,
5
Tory
years.
may be coming home soon, from what
Well,
I'm
saying,
hearing.
though.
Tory, was that state or federal? That was state, right?
I think that was state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
state.
Yeah, because it was the state of
Because
California.
Yeah.
that
I mean,
picked it up.
Tory, his was what, 3 years they offered him.
Yeah,
Now he's on 10.
yeah.
I mean, when they give you an offer, man. I mean, here's my thing. If I know for a fact I did nothing, then of course.
Right.
Did he know he did nothing at all? Like he know for a fact he did nothing wrong, besides that whole hotel fight
That love
with
triangle.
no, besides that whole thing with beating,
Okay.
he's not on trial for that.
Yeah.
He's not on trial for beating up Cassie. He's on trial for racketeering and if you know for a fact he did nothing wrong, then he shouldn't take that 5 years. Just like with Tory, I'm like, my thing, if I know I didn't do nothing wrong, I'm really shocked Tory Lanez didn't take the stand. If I didn't do nothing wrong, I'm on that stand, I'm crying like a bitch. I'm like, trying to prove my point. You know what I mean? Like I did nothing. I didn't, you know what I mean? But he not taking that stand.
You know,
I didn't like that. He
politics
should have
with
took that
you know.
stand, man. I'm not sure who. If I ain't shoot nobody, I'm taking that stand. You have to see the truth in my face that that I didn't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put my faith in the hands of a jury. Decided they're gonna see me up there crying pleading for my life, my freedom. Fuck that shit, man. Nothing's worth. That's why I'm blaming. 5 years is a long time. I'm sure every day, is tough in prison. And 5 years, that's a lot of days. But if he got any sense he did anything wrong, if he even did it, not even this case, if he's ever done anything wrong in the past,
Then that means everybody has to take the plea.
no, that's my real deal, like real
Okay.
things. If he really has something to do with Tupac, or he really has something to do with this and that,
Yeah,
take
yeah,
that
yeah.
5 years.
And get
You
out
know,
the
because
people's face.
everything you do on this earth is gonna come back and haunt you. You know what I'm saying?
Puff,
So
Puff
that
really
universe.
a gangster. Y'all look at him like this
well, if
dancing
he's a gangster,
guy.
that means he's done some things.
No, he definitely done some things.
Well, I would take the 5 years.
Puff done put
But
hits
if
out,
I've
all
done
type of
anything,
shit,
if I've
bro.
ever taken a life or been responsible for taking a life or done anything evil that I knew I should have did life in jail for, and I've been offered 5 years for this shit here.
I didn't know they offered
Now
him
that
5
you put
years,
it in
bro.
context like that, yeah, and from that perspective, okay, take the 5 because
It's a good way
Puffy
to
got a
look at
dark
it.
history that's
Yeah.
surrounded around the whole Death Row, Bad Boys.
Yeah.
The passing of remember his best friend Wolf and all that in Atlanta.
Ex-wife.
So what was that?
Ex-wife.
His ex-wife.
Yeah,
Kim
that's
Porter.
crazy. The book. Yeah.
So
My
in
thing
that
is-
case,
yeah.
but if you're just judging it based off this Cassie case alone that they presented 5, based on what they originally threw at him, I can understand why he's fighting it for that particular reason. But if you're viewing it from that perspective, like you said, I
I'll
would have took
view
the 5
everything
too.
I've done in my life. Like, you know what, God, it's time for me to sit down, 5 years. 5 years. I mean, 5 years is long.
Yeah.
It's
But
not that
it-
long.
I mean, he's already
It's-
been in there for over a year. He
yeah,
probably
yeah.
would have been
5
done
years not
another
long,
6
bro.
months. They
Yeah.
would have released him, and he would have just had house arrest or probation.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he would have took the fight, he probably would have been home
Yeah.
by December.
But
For
you,
real?
yeah.
I'm just guessing
I
because he's
mean,
already been in there for a year, right? And you know they're
But
gonna let him out
fast,
after
you do
like
like
2.5.
what's the percentage for fast?
He's supposed to do 85%, but they'll let him out and probably allow
Yeah.
him to do the rest at home
I
on
would-
house arrest, probation, because
I would've
he
took
got
it.
enough money to pay for that.
you been in LA. You lived in LA.
Yeah.
How hard it is to manage in LA?
In LA, just living in LA kind of remind me what I said about like getting a visa to come to America. As an artist, when you go to LA, you able to survive in LA for a year, your family feel like you made it. That's how tough it is. As especially comedians that, but things have changed now. Like LA is not what it used to be. You know what I mean? Back in the 90s and early 2000s, when you was in Hollywood, you felt like you was in Hollywood. Now it's like influencers are the new stars.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? If you ain't got 1 million followers or so, you ain't nobody.
Mm.
So none of that shit matters anymore. I've been there for like 10 years, and it's time for, things have changed now. You don't have to be there anymore to make it. You live anywhere. Dave Chappelle lives in freaking Ohio. Fucking everybody, Utah. Everybody have different places now. You don't have to go and spending that crazy money in
Yeah.
LA.
But to survive in LA, even on a street level, that means you move right and you have the right people around you.
Yeah,
Because
it's-
there's a lot of gang
Nigga, street
politics,
in LA, boy. We
extortion.
was just talking about that on the way here.
So you got you have a good team around you, man.
Oh yeah, that extortion shit is real. I'm not sure if I ever talked about it on any podcast before, but I've been a victim of that. I was in Atlanta like 10 years ago, and at this point, I was like, I ain't had no real money. I was broke. I mean, broke compared to where I'm at now. I remember I did a show, probably got paid like $5,000. And I think the guy that booked the show was the same motherfuckers. That had a set that's trying to set you up because they know you got to pay you cash.
They paid you.
Right?
Get that
So
money back.
but I'm street smart. So I did the show. I went to my hotel room, put the money up, kept like $250 in my pocket in case, buy drinks, whatever. What I had, fucking $2,000 worth of chain on, a Michael Kors watch, right? I'm in the club. Next thing you know, somebody taps me like, hey, them guys over there are big fans of yours. They want to take a picture. I go down there, I'm getting extorted. He said, all right.
Man.
He said, all right, take your shit up. We got a gun, yada, yada. I'm not going to mention who they are, whatever gang, whatever they're related to. I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But then, I'm like, all right, I'm taking my shit off. You know what I mean? I'm not tripping over no, they check they were disappointed. It was only $250 in my pocket.
Yeah.
Right? Give that up.
Nah, but you smart to put the money up.
Oh, always,
Yeah.
man. So I put it up, and then next thing you know, and then my road manager that was with me, once he peeped that, he's trying to like get loud, whatever. But then like, dude's like, no, don't do all that. The club promoter, this is an after party after the show. The club promoter, like, whatever. Make a long story short, fast forward maybe a week later, Moses, my guy, gets in touch with the guy that, and the guy that really set it up was like, hey, I'll get your chain back, but I'm gonna need some money. So I think that's how that whole
That's
thing
the whole
worked.
play. That's
That's
the
the whole
game.
plan. So
That-
he
You
said,
got backdoor.
I'm like, I
showing
told him,
yeah.
I said, listen, man, they can keep that shit. You know what I mean? I don't care. They can keep it. But they kept because they know it wasn't worth much.
Yeah.
2,500, maybe I was a little exaggerating. It probably worth 1,500, whatever I had on.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, let me keep it. I'm good. Because one thing about those whole situation, don't ever give them money. Don't make them feel like you sweet. They will always come.
Yeah.
Because them niggas always gonna come back.
Mm.
If they think they'll get over on you, they'll come back always. You know what I mean? So I had told him, I said, listen, man, they'll keep it. I said, Mike, well, he said, Mike, I live in Atlanta. I gotta see these people. They keep bugging me. I'm like, all right, nigga, I sent them $2,500. Just give it to them. And then because I think they give him the shit back before I left, and they wanted some money. I said, give him the money. And then after he gave him the money, then I remember I said, okay, next time I'm going to Atlanta, no jewelry. I had on like some fucking $500 Versace necklace I had on.
Yeah.
No money, whatever. I'm performing this one place. These niggas come back again.
The
right?
same people?
Same motherfuckers.
Nah,
These
man.
niggas
They need that.
They think
Tripping.
you sweet as
Because you
shit.
sweet.
boy.
That's why I said,
God
you
damn.
never get them niggas money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, so they came back. I'm like, I ain't worried. I ain't got shit on me. What they want? Fucking fake ass chain. So they came. So when they came, it's like, hey man, we had got your chain back. Then they playing games. They said, we got your chain back, you know what I mean? And they didn't take care of my man. I said, well, somebody got the 2,500. So I try to act like somebody else got it, not them got it.
Yeah.
It's a whole, you know, I mean, that shit happened 10 years. That shit just got squashed. Like, I had to get 50 Cent involved in that shit.
No.
50 Cent got it squashed up like 2 years ago. And that shit was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they like
Damn.
apologize, all that shit. You know what I mean? So, but that's why I'm like, man, nigga, y'all want, what you do if you even get close to an entertainer, just find out how you could make money with that nigga. Hey
Right.
man,
Yeah.
this is what I do, can we promote a show? Can we do this? You know what I mean? That's why I told that nigga, I'm like, when they came that second time, I'm like, you wanna make some money? You know, if this your city, why don't you put a show together where we could all make money? You're not gonna come here and try to make money with me.
So
You
you
know.
Yeah.
you believe
It's a
in
lack
checking?
of
Yeah.
intelligence as well, because a lot of these niggas, they don't know nothing outside of their block radius. They don't know nothing outside of that,
Facts.
the neighborhood.
You believe in checking in when you go to different cities?
Yeah,
I mean,
nigga,
I'm not.
yeah, nigga, he checked in with me. Nah, I'm fucking with you.
You know what? That's what them rappers do. I mean, that's another form of extortion too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not. I mean, why people live in fear? You know, but I heard it's big in LA. I heard a lot of NBA players. They all have to like. They're all involved in
No.
that shit. You know what I mean? I don't check in nobody. You know what I'm saying?
LA's at
But
the bottom of my list.
If a local gang,
I
whatever,
ain't
if
gonna
you
lie.
want to put something together that we could both make money from, you know what I mean? You're not about to come in and be like, hey, you in my city, give me. I'm not, you know, nigga, I got to pay tax on my 1099.
Yeah.
I'm receiving, motherfucker. Who you? You know, so yeah, but I did that with making some money. You
Yeah.
know, we all grew up from, you know, I grew up in the hoods of Southwest Philly. You know, I know how that whole shit worked. You know what I mean? I'm always down with making, you want to make money together. Now you're about to extort me for my money.
You know, the first question I have: do you make the white man check in?
Exactly.
That's the only thing I'm
true.
asking.
Nah,
That's
they
real.
never
White
do
man
that.
check
They don't
in?
never
Well,
do
you
that.
on say
The only
something
white
right
boy,
now.
the only white boy that
So
ever
I'm
had
not
check,
checking in.
Eminem, Vanilla Ice went through that shit
Suge
back
had him
then.
on the
Yeah.
balcony.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, the white ones that want to be black are the ones they're gonna get.
But that
You
came
get
from Africa
nigga
though.
money.
Yeah.
Hey, you right about that. You
They
acting
ain't
black,
gonna go
you
after
have to
They
check
ain't going
in.
after Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Checking in came from Africa, low key though. When
Huh?
you think about the history, checking in came from Africa.
It sure enough did. It sure did. You right about that.
But you know what?
No, that's true. Because even when I went and built the school in my village, I went and built the school. Believe it or not, dog, my chief of my village is on payroll. And there's a reason why, because you want to make sure things run smoothly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I put him on payroll, you know, because if anything goes wrong in that town, he's a nigga in charge. I'm like, when the school administrator hit me up, like, call the chief, niggas on payroll.
Yeah.
Because
Call him.
anything, you blame me
Yeah.
on the chief. Blame me on the town. Like if it's a problem with the teacher, if a teacher is, you know, you did some research and it's a problem with the teacher, let the chief deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I did on purpose because I want to make sure the school the school is free. I pay for everything from their uniform to light bill and the security,
And they blessed,
lunch,
man.
like everything come out of my pocket every month. You know what I mean? And right, so and I'm not making no business for it. It ain't benefit me besides just a good feeling of giving back. That's the best feeling in the world. I'm giving back. So I just want to make sure things run smooth because anything will go wrong. You know what I mean? Especially involving kids, it's kids. So you gotta make sure it goes smooth. So I had to put that nigga on them. Because usually if he wasn't on payroll, every time I go to town, Africa, when you go to town or village and the big guys come around, you gotta shake their hands and put some money in their hands.
Yeah, you
So you're
gotta
right.
grease. I know all
Checking
about
in
that.
this started motherfucking Africa.
Real
It's the
talk.
same shit in Haiti. You gotta grease people's
Yeah, you
hands.
gotta
and
grease
Yeah,
hands.
There's so much
yeah.
corruption that the gangsters on the streets damn near run the country in a sense.
But sometimes it's not about everywhere I go, even in Ghana. I met this guy, Sammy. He was the taxi cab driver. I done sent 4 people to Africa, to Ghana. He moved them around.
Yeah.
Is that checking in? Everywhere I go, I have someone I can call and say, hey, I'm
Nah,
gonna be
that's
in the
more
town.
like a tour guide. That ain't checking in.
But that's the thing. I don't give them no money, but let me tell you what I do. We outside. Let's go out. When you out with me,
you
we get the
everything taken care
bottle,
of.
we go get the food.
You show them a good time.
I mean, maybe that's a form of checking in, but that's just, you know.
Not bad. At least you're doing that at your will.
Yeah. You know
You
what?
know
That's
I
the
mean?
difference. You're
It's
right. There you
different.
go.
You can't make
You
me
doing
feel
it
like
at your
some. You can't
will.
make me feel like some bitch. If I want to shake your hand and put something in there, it's because I want to do it.
You're
because
right. Nah, he
I
said
want
he
to do
hit
it
it on the
because I
head.
want things to run smooth when I come back here for whatever reason. Don't make me feel like I have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's that feeling. That's not a good feeling when motherfuckers, you feel like somebody's, you know, either your life is on the line because I don't do something for you.
Nah, I feel you. I respect that. Cause
Yeah,
go ahead, Spike.
people are always in shock when they say like, "Yo, LA. I never been to LA, but it's at the bottom of my list. I was born and raised in Miami, so I look at it like what they got that we don't got outside of the weed. The weed fire, but we get they weed too. It just take a little longer to get here, but what the obnoxious gang shit is just like that shit is just annoying to me.
Man, like I said,
lie,
we're
it
in a
just look
different era because
annoying as fuck.
back in the day, you had to go to New York. You had to go to LA. Like now it's different now. You know, I mean, as an artist, I think the only place you really have to worry about is Atlanta. You know what I mean? Atlanta, man, you know, y'all got everything going on in Miami as well. But back then, you had to make those trips you have to build a relationship there with the West Coast. As an artist, you want to be, you know, before the South was running, now you guys are running shit between Atlanta and Miami. You guys have taken over. But when it was just LA and New York, you had to build a relationship at those two places, you know.
So let me ask you this: I'm writing a book about it's a self-help book for men on how to attract women, and I want to hear from you how your brain computer work. What do you find women find the most attractive?
Money,
Money,
Money?
That's it. Money, success,
Okay.
Here's
power.
my right.
Okay,
So,
okay,
let me tell you, like I got
No,
a lot
okay.
of, I got plenty of female friends.
okay.
You know, they're like, I want to go to Ghana, Mike, and I want to make sure you have a husband for me, right? I said, okay, I will have your husband. Ladies, listen up. All the ladies watching right now, y'all listen to me, okay? I tell them ladies, you have two options in husbands, okay? All right, I got a broke one that'll be faithful to you, or a rich one with you probably be wife number 4. You probably gonna see that nigga Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons. I said, pick one. All
Crazy.
niggas pick.
That's crazy.
They
They all pick the rich one.
They pick the rich one.
Women
Tuesday
are
and
not
Wednesday.
love is not
All on
private.
pick the rich ones.
They all wants to be taken care of now.
Okay.
You got to put you need like a you need a pussy bill, nigga. Okay, you need like allowance for coochie.
Yeah. So as a
Period.
man, you should focus on just running up a bag if you want women. That's
Yeah,
what you're saying.
run up
Run
that. You
up
ain't
a
got no
bag.
bad women don't want me to bother you.
So don't worry about your looks. Don't worry about how you dress.
Nah.
Get to the bag.
Ugly niggas are in style with money.
Get to the fucking money.
Get to the money, no matter what. I mean, they can fall in love, and you got for them to fall in love with you. They gotta get close to you. They gonna get close to you if you broke, motherfucker.
Nah, that's real. Run
Ooh,
your bag
that's
up.
deep.
Focus on your
No,
paper.
no.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Really hear what he just said. No, really, he said they got to get close to you.
Yeah.
In order to get close to you,
You gotta have
you got to be worth getting close to. You gotta have
Yeah,
something.
something, man.
So they'll get to know you on the back end, but on the front end,
You got to position yourself.
Once you position yourself where they fall in love, and you almost will have them, and that's when Diddy shit start happening.
Yeah, shit.
That's why you start peeing in their mouth and taking a cum and rubbing on your nipples, whatever the
That
fuck.
shit is crazy.
yeah, that's
crazy.
wild. That's some
Beverly
wild shit.
That
Hills,
nigga's
boy.
that nigga's a sick dude, man. That nigga is
That's some
crazy.
wild
Yeah,
shit,
that's a little
bro.
bit too much. I thought eating ass was bad enough. This nigga is just...
Puffy was on another
A woman
level.
never tossed your salad, man? Pause.
You know what? So when I was married,
I know you got that done.
No, I'm not a big fan of that. So
Okay.
I got married at a very young age, 22 years old, and my ex-wife did that shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, don't do that shit no more, man. I'm a regular man, a regular boy. You know.
Well, you liked it too much. That's why you
No, it's
didn't.
not that. It's just like it's so right. I don't want nothing close to my booty.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I just like, I just know like coochie is for the man, and anything with the
Yeah.
ass related is something else, motherfucker. So stay away from my butt.
Nah, I respect that.
But eating ass, it's accepted.
It takes a lot to eat ass. I mean, you can't just go eat ass.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta like. It has to be like. Ass
But it's
has-
right there
ass
by the
has to look
pussy. It's like it's close.
It does, but ass gotta look a certain way. You know, you can eat any ass. You know, but you have to like it have to be somebody you really like. Been with for a while, where you're used to that whole body odor, just that body smell, everything.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a
yeah,
fact.
it takes a lot. You can't go eat a bitch ass in the first night.
Yeah. Y'all boys tripping. Some of y'all
Yeah,
out
y'all
there.
ass eating niggas, first night ass eaters. Slap yourself, punk bitch. Yeah, you need like a couple of years to get to know a woman. 8 months, whatever. You've been with her a lot and used to everything about her body. Before you go eating that ass, you can't just
Some niggas doing it on the
can't meet
first
a big
night.
ass, that booty trap and eat her ass.
And they meet some of these influencers, man. They finally get it. They have to go for the big one.
And now you ass out, motherfucker.
Let me ask you this: how you feel about the landscape of the industry that you're in? Because it changed a lot as far as comedy.
Yeah. Comedy. I mean, it's the best job on earth. it's been a little weird lately. You know, a lot of beef going on with comedy and all that stuff. You know, but beef always sells. So you know, beef
Yeah.
sells always.
Yeah.
I mean, look, rappers. Yeah, I mean that's what keeps us. You know, I mean, when Biggie and Tupac were beefing, you know, as much as we hate it, we loved it too because that's what you know. And
It
they
was
going,
entertaining.
it's entertainment. It's
Yeah.
and same way. And that's how comedy become. You know what I mean? Like you know, I've had some beefs and they just all did is give me material. You know, when I was
Yeah,
beefing
yeah,
with Kev,
yeah.
I had a whole 5 minutes on Kevin Hart. When I'm beefing with Cat, I got a whole 5 minutes on Cat. You know,
Yeah.
so it's that deep inside. At the end of the day, I think we all respect each other from the hustle and the grind because we all like veteran, like 25 years or older veteran. We've been doing this for a while. To survive in anything that long and still be relevant, you got to respect the next person for that, you know. So we have a deep respect for each other, but comedy is comedy.
One thing about comedy beef is it never gets physical, it never gets violent. It always just stays within the actual
Yeah.
art.
It
Who's
stays as a
funnier?
joke.
Yeah.
It just stays as a joke.
Was there any truth to anything that Katt said about you?
Okay, let me see. What did he say? He said, I'm a real African with a fake accent. And then he said, no, what he said, the funny thing he said, comedians don't get booed enough. That's why you still have Michael Blackson. Think he mad at me because I don't get booed?
Yeah, that's
That just-
crazy.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
dog,
kind of
I'm
wild
just-
though. That's
I ain't
kind
gonna
of
lie, I was
wild.
at
I'm
the
just
show on
that
Friday.
good.
I was at the show Friday. That shit
Yeah.
was
You
You
the
can't
fucking
force nobody to
funniest.
boo.
But
Yeah,
you
like,
really
but I'm just
funny
good.
though.
I'm
You
Nah,
just
funny.
you did your shit. I was there
Right.
Friday.
What?
Yeah,
That shit.
I'm gonna give y'all tickets for tonight. Y'all can
Yeah.
all pull up.
I ain't lie.
Word.
Repo.
Huh?
That movie Repo.
Oh, Repo.
Oh my God,
What
bro.
piece
that
of
was-
work?
Huh?
What piece of work are you most complimented on? Like, what do people say? Like, yo, this is my favorite piece. Like,
Repo. And that was a
Repo?
street. What was a fucking street
That
thing,
shit
man,
was
from like
fuck, bruh.
2007, 6.
Mama.
You know.
Word.
Who were some of the comedians that inspired you when you were coming up? Or some of your personal favorites, if
Yeah,
you have
Eddie
any?
Murphy, he was like the first one I saw when I came to America, like, you know, on TV, and I thought he was funny. You know, I like Chris Rock. You know, Dave been doing his thing, you know.
Please tell me Patrice O'Neal on that list.
You know, I didn't know him. I didn't know Patrice that much. I didn't really get to know him well until he passed away, and I started watching his videos. And I'm like, damn, this nigga's funny. You know, but he was like nobody really had that.
Oh, okay. Now that's fair. That's fair. I respect that.
Growing up in the 90s, man, with comedy, it was a real competition back then, though.
Yeah.
Y'all used to
Yeah,
battle.
man. Yeah, I mean, we had to like go to open mic nights. It was no doing some couple of skits on IG and then build up 1 million followers and now you're a star. You had to go to open mic. That's when you sign up, you know, 20 comedians sign up for open mic. Sometimes some club will have like first come, first serve. Some other club will have like the more they know you, the better your number would be in the order when you go up. When I first started in the 90s, I remember I went and signed up my name, and the club manager looks at the name like, who's this mother Michael Blackson? Okay, we don't know him. He gonna go last. So by the time I go up, it's like comedians left. All the audience is already gone. You know, so that's how tough it was
Damn.
with comedy.
And I heard niggas used to pay them to skip the line and go in front of the.
I mean, that's
whoever
anything,
was
really.
there.
Yeah, I
Payola.
don't.
Who's your Mount Rushmore?
Damn, you just took that out of my mouth. I was just about to say before we sang that,
let me
who's the Mount
see.
Rushmore?
Is
And
it
you can
Dead or
include
Alive?
yourself too. Include yourself.
Dead
too.
or
Dead
alive? Absolutely.
Dead or Alive?
Yeah,
for sure.
Dead
For
or
sure.
Alive.
Dead or Alive. All right. Got Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, Bernie Mac, Michael Blackson.
That's a fire list.
I
That's a
like
good
it.
list.
Fire list.
I
That's
like that list.
fire.
I like that list.
That's
That's
a good
a fire
ass
list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to put your, I mean, you got, I believe in myself, you know, and I'm more underground street, but I think I keep up with what's going on, you know, and also coming from a whole different planet or continent and coming here and making it, that's like the hardest thing, you know, and even like this Afrobeat artists, all those guys, they don't even feel like they made it to America know who they are, you know,
Yeah.
and that's when you feel like you complete. So they, you know, because of that, just coming to a whole different place and succeeding in this country is good enough to make myself number 5. It's still relevant to today.
Word.
You definitely made it. You know, give you your flowers right now. You definitely made it, brother.
Nah,
He
for
made it,
sure.
nah, for
And
sure.
you were being a little humble. Nah, you one of the top ones for sure. Nah,
You're
without
definitely
a doubt.
legendary, bro.
What's the difference between? Of course, there's a major difference as far as from the visual aspect of things, but like film comedy and actual stand-up comedy. Like, what's the I guess the artistry that goes behind it?
Well, film comedy is you mean like a film stand-up comedy?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you got one chance to like do it right. You know, not really, because when guys shoot specials, You usually shoot like 2 shows.
Okay.
You know, so you shoot like 2 shows and then they just take the best of whatever, you know. So you can still do some editing work at film comedy. Where live on stage, it ain't no coming back, nigga. You can't, there's no cut and redo. You just gotta go up there with and do your thing, you know. And even till today, I've been doing this shit like almost 30 years, and I'm still nervous before I go on. That's because I don't take it for granted.
That's a real thing. You still feel it?
Always, you know, nervous. But once I get on stage, I'm good. It's home. You know.
Yeah.
So,
You got a lot of fucking material.
Yeah. Man.
I was just sitting there like, what the fuck? Nah, real talk. Like, and then you were just improvising. You hit Dehydrated DJ Khaled.
Man.
You hit Sexy Red. You
Basically,
just
when I go on stage, first thing I do, I take control of the room. I let the motherfuckers know, okay, this is my shit. I'm in charge. So you light a couple of niggas up. You know what I mean? And then they're kind of like, you know, it's like a nigga, all right, everybody shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? It's my show.
I like that.
And then and I do that by roasting motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And then everybody fear you. Now they gonna sit down and have a good time.
No, I like that.
How do you know when somebody just as funny as you though? Cause I see you and DC, y'all got a great chemistry. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you know when somebody funny. It's like they make you laugh.
Yeah. DC, man, he came a long way too, man. I watched him grow, and I'm very proud of his progress. You know, he's one of the internet guys that like actually went into the comedy clubs and worked out his material. You know what I mean? And because what he did, those guys cheat the system because they build up a fan base, go build up 2-3 million fans. Now go to comedy club, work the shit out, and now you already got fans ready to buy your tickets to the show. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But with him on Wildin' Out, whenever I have to go against this guy, he's one of them guys don't quit. They refuse to lose. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, and nobody likes to lose in comedy, but these younger motherfuckers, man, they'll find a way to win in a competition.
But you're one of the rare, I guess you call it, older comedians who actually embrace the younger ones. A lot of the old heads were like, nah, they bombing at these shows. They don't even know how to perform live.
Well, some of them do bomb, but some, and then, and some will go back to the drawing board and try to make themselves better. There's a few guys that I've seen had a bad show and they getting better little by little. Even HaHa Davis, I heard he was bombing at time, but then he just went back to the drawing board and like figured out what he has to do.
Working on his craft.
So you got to work on your craft, man.
Well, age don't exist in comedy. Like funny is funny.
Yeah,
you could be an old man in a wheelchair.
Nah, that's one of the best things about comedy.
That's not the rap game.
Do it till you die.
If you funny,
what's
you funny.
interesting? Do you know any of our local comedians?
Well, old school, I know Marvin Dixon.
Yeah, he's
I think Elizabeth. She's part of our Elizabeth is funny.
We got
shout out to Elizabeth.
I was supposed to let her go on. I was supposed to have a host a show last night. But then she was like, not feeling that well. I'm like, well, stay your ass on. Don't come make me sick. She had like strep throat or something. I'm like, well, okay.
Shout out to Liz for sure. She's a part of our network. She's
For real,
She's
going pretty. She getting funny really fast.
I think we got the biggest Haitian comedians though.
Yeah,
we got the biggest Haitian comedians, and I feel like a lot of the comedy that they bring forward, you don't understand unless you're Haitian or you grew up with Haitians.
Well,
You know
and that's
what I'm
what
saying?
they gotta just figure out a way to make everybody understand.
Yeah. So,
is there anybody that you mentor as far as young comedians that's up and coming right now?
Mentor. I mean,
Or just giving game. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Give all of them
I
game.
mean, those guys come. Like I said, DC. He hit me for a lot of advice early in his career. A lot of those influencers like Desi Banks. I run into him, he ask for advice. I like those guys that want to learn from the OGs. They'll talk like me, Abs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I'm always ready to give an advice. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell them, hey, you just go to open mic. The more you get on stage, the better you're gonna get. Comedy, you get wiser with age. You know what I mean? You get more wiser. And I think I'm at my funniest period. People think like maybe like the set 10 years ago was really crazy, but I'm like right now it's like I think I'm more intelligent. I'm fearless now. I give less fuck, and I think I'm more at my best. So you get better with age. Comedy is not no overnight success. When you've been doing comedy 10 years, you're a rookie, nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn.
Because it takes a while to really.
Now you say you're intelligent, and what books you read?
That's I
Are you a reader? You don't read
I'm not
many?
a reader, man. Yeah, I am writing my first book. My book is
Okay.
almost done.
We gotta get
Now,
that.
when you drop that book, you got to come back on
you
the
gotta come back
podcast.
now.
Oh, my
We
book,
need that.
my
Double
God.
back.
When it's done, y'all can read a book and then you ask me questions on the book.
Nah, we're
The
gonna do
book
that.
is fucking nuts. I
It's a
didn't
life story?
realize my life till I was writing this book, you know. I hired my sister, she's a writer, and she moved back to Ghana. So I wake up early in the morning and I write, you know, things from like we start out from birth all the way to like my book is so interesting. I had to stop at 2014. Like from 2014
Whoa.
on is the next book.
Yeah.
What?
I had to stop at 2014 because if not, it would be giving too much. So
That
from
North-
2014 on is another
Yeah.
book. The other book is like when Hollywood life
Yeah.
and like
Okay,
you know
okay.
After
penthouse
Philly.
and
Yeah.
threesomes, all that crazy
Yeah.
shit. You know,
Yeah.
my son doing drug. My oldest son disappointed.
yeah.
Speaking of that, how's the relationship with him?
You know, Mike is. I just saw him last week when I was back east. But you know, once, you know, and I tell kids all the time, man. I'm like, you know, my thing is, if you're gonna duplicate what if my son came and like, you know, he got a whole bunch of girls and caught an STD or something like that, I won't be mad because you know that's daddy. He learned from me. But when you're doing things that I've never done, that shit pisses me off. You know what I'm saying? I'm still mad at him till today, but once you smoke some K2 or whatever it is that alter your brains, you'll never be the
K2.
same. Never.
Yeah.
It's hard to come back. You know what I mean? He just, you know, he will never be the same, you know, and he's like missing out on life because he made a wrong choice.
Mm-hmm.
So you out there, man, watch what you're smoking. Don't take things from nobody. Mother would lace your shit. You know, be careful out there or just don't do it at all.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. Because I do believe it's power in words. Let's just not say he'll never be the same.
I know.
You know, anything is possible. Let me just say that. Let me just say that.
I mean,
with that.
I don't think it'll always be 100%. I mean, when your brain is altered, this takes a lot. You know what I mean? I think that's where like those things, you know, whatever.
Well, look at them guys. Okay, think about this deeply. Look at the guys. Look at the Muslims with the Nation of Islam. Some of them dudes was heroin addicts. They got cleaned up, right or wrong. Look at Malcolm X. He was a pimp on coke, heroin, and that's one of the most intelligent guys that ever walked this planet.
Yeah, but then I mean, the things that are smoking now is a little different than the heroin and coke. I mean, what's the fuck is a K2? I mean, it's like synthetic weed.
It sound like
It's a whole
NBA
different
player.
thing.
Mike ain't letting that shit go at all.
It sound like an NBA player. Yeah.
You niggas smoking some whole different level shit that's
Yeah.
like fuck you up for life. I mean, I won't keep in my prayers. You know, I was praying.
Yeah, man, don't give up, man. For
I'm just
real,
gonna
we don't never give up, man.
Make a whole bunch of kids to replace that motherfucker.
Parenting though is important, right or wrong.
It is important, you know. And I was more like that parent that's like, you know, like my mother left my dad at a very young age. You know, so I didn't like grow up with a dad. You know what I mean? But so when I had a kid, I'm like, I don't give the kid everything, you know, freedom, peace of mind, fun. I'm that, and you know, I tour, I'm on the road, and I'm a comedian. I'm that fun dad, you know what I mean? And his mom, I was married at a young age. I was like married like 20-something years old. And his mom was like more like the one to whoop his ass and, you know.
She was a disciplinarian.
Yeah, and you know, and I think I should just left him with his mom. You know what I mean? When I moved to Cali, I'm like, you know, come on, son, come live with dad. You know what I mean? And let's have that. And he just
he's
just
seen too much. He was exposed to.
Not that.
That's the first. I've never heard that
It's more of
before.
his environment. And like,
Yeah.
You know how you didn't see daddy doing no drugs. I don't get high or get drunk. Other than daddy just fuck bitches. Excuse my language. You know what I mean?
You know where guys get that from, right?
That's my problem. So if my son had a whole bunch of chicks, I don't be mad because I learned from you. You know what I'm saying? Mom,
But that's where you get it from.
What?
Listen, I watch a lot of old school movies and music. A lot of guys that got hooked on drugs, they got hooked on drugs from the women. Imagine the most gorgeous woman you've seen in your life. She said, listen, pop this pill with me. Actually, I do Adderall because of my baby mama. I'm keeping it real. She a nurse. She said, all the doctors do this. Women. I'm being real.
100%.
When it comes to them drugs and shit, women, now imagine the most gorgeous woman you've seen in your life. She said, do a line with me. Sometimes, I never did a line, but I'm just telling you the truth. A guy may do a line to get that pussy.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
too late. It's over with.
You was
trust
close.
me, in the past, I've had girls that be like, you know, when I smoke weed, it make me, girls be like, when I smoke weed, you know,
Exactly.
Smoke weed, and I have smoked, but I didn't inhale. I'm like, I just pretend I'm smoking. I never
Blowing that
inhale.
shit out.
Never inhaled it.
Never
I
inhaled
did
it.
get high once in my life, and it happened in fucking Africa, nigga. You know, my boy Fuse is a music artist, and he had this little drink. I think he must have had weed in it, whatever. He said, you know, Mike, so I tasted it. I'm like, this shit tastes good. He said, well, Mike, you know, it's got a little weed. I'm like, this shit tastes too good to me high.
Yeah.
I took another thing. Mike, calm down. I'm like, nigga, this shit tastes too good. Cause I'm more of a cocktail type of drinker. I'm not taking no shots of shit. You know what I mean? So I'm more like a sweet drinker person. So if I take something sweet, I'm gonna drink that shit. And I'm drinking like, Mike, man, I'm like, no way this shit gonna fuck me up. Nigga, 3 hours later, man, I saw 1984, motherfucker. Everything happened to me in 1984, popped into my head. I was paranoid. I'm in a room, folding clothes and shit, man.
That boy went
My
back.
girl was with me. She's like, what the fuck is going on, Mike? Man, I was all fucked up. I said, never again. Fuck
Never
that.
again.
Nah, but on women, man, a lot of times, man.
Before we
Yeah, man.
conclude, because we got to move along, Ice Cube mentioned that there's supposed to be another Friday movie. Did he connect with you? Or are you gonna be on the
We
next one?
connected way before that. I'm sure, you know, whenever this thing happened, he's gonna get everybody he can get possible to be in this. You know, in fact, before John Witherspoon died, I ran into him at the Big 3 championship game in LA, and we talked briefly about the script. You know what I'm saying? But like now, people are died. I don't know how much has changed in the
Yeah.
script. You know what I mean? But yeah, when this movie happens, don't worry. Everybody
It's
you
gonna be
seen
amazing.
that's still alive
We'll
will be in
still
this
be a
movie.
part of it.
You
There's
gotta
some
be in
facts.
it.
That
Yeah,
means Smoke
you
you
in there
back.
for sure.
Doing that.
Yeah, you know, and I was just talking to Chris. Well, I know DC mentioned something that he said Chris said if they'll make him play his son, then Chris would be in
Yeah,
it.
I heard of that too.
So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens. I mean,
Yeah.
those just speculations, whatever.
But next Friday, man, without you, man,
It
it's
wouldn't
a
been the
space.
same.
It's a space missing. It's a history
3 minutes
missing.
saying appreciate
It's
that.
a
man.
Nah, but
it's
you
a space
passed.
missing it, man. When I was a kid, man, like I tell you, like
Yeah, that's that
that.
That's the
movie.
We
scene I would
repeated what
refer
you
to for
said.
sure.
Everything you said
That try
is John
again,
Wayne,
motherfucker.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know the funny thing about
I
that
hate
script,
shit saying that.
for real.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
funny thing about
man.
that script, man, and almost a lot of stuff I've done, and what I like best about Ice Cube, man, he just let you go, do you, you know? Because we look, the only thing that was in that script,
Wait, that was you came up with that?
the only thing that was in the script was I can't get G with this shit. That was in the
Okay.
script. Everything else, me and Mike F just going back and forth.
What? John
And
Wayne.
when the movie was done,
That's
and they
fun, bro.
invited the stars to go watch the movie because we watched it before it come out.
Yeah.
I was like, I hated it because I knew me and Mike did so much more funnier shit.
Oh, but that's just what they. That's
Oh,
what
it
they
was?
kept.
Edit. Oh
Wait,
my
so
God.
it was more that wasn't in the movie?
So much
So
more.
much
I was
more.
so mad. I'm like,
Wow.
this is the best. It got all the shit me and Mike did. But you know
Wow,
what happens
damn.
is when the guy that edited this movie, the guy
He's
that
not
edits the
even on
movie,
set.
he don't be on set. His
Yeah,
goal is to get the
yeah.
best angle, the best this, the best that. I'm like, niggas, we just wanted funny shit. You know what I mean? It's probably some white boy.
He don't
doing
know
the
funny.
editing.
He don't really know funny. He don't know funny.
Yeah.
But that's what makes sense about Meet the Blacks.
Oh yeah. See with that, when a black man's in there editing the movie and he was on set, you know,
And he know
Capture
funny.
the
No
moments.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
A
in
lot of time
there,
the editors don't have no clue. They're just there to cut the right scenes and make sure the angles is right.
And then move it
You know what I
along.
mean? Nigga, man, my God. I wish you could find footage of what we really did. We went hard that movie. Man,
You gotta create your
but
own, man.
you know, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't even like it at first. So when it came out, I remember being in Philly and then I put a hoodie on and I went to the movie theater and sit back and watch how they reacted to it. And when I started fell in love with it, and that's when I started feeling better about it.
Word.
You said everybody that's alive is gonna be a part of it. So that means you and Katt gonna be on the set.
Oh yeah, man. You know
Okay.
what? It's so funny. That's just funny. I mentioned Katt. Somebody sent me a message today, right? You know, they said, yeah, Michael Katt, because they said Katt was talking about you on stage in Connecticut last night. Hold on,
What?
Yeah. Man, it was
Go
nice.
ahead.
I'm trying to figure out what this nigga. He sent me exactly what Katt said.
That's your
He said, "Look,
Damn.
Katt gave you a shout out last night at his Connecticut Heaven on Earth tour. He spoke good about you." I'm like, huh? I said, "What did he say?" He said when the President Trump called ICE to deport immigrants, he was checking up on Michael Blackson every day.
Is that a true story?
Fuck no, man.
That's
I'm
crazy.
gonna light his ass up again tonight.
But
Where's
you
the
look
show
at-
tonight?
At the
Daniel.
Fort Lauderdale Improv. It's in Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
You
Say
looked out
less.
for Katt though. People
Look.
don't know that though.
I love my nigga, man. You know, he just and that whole beef with me and Katt happened in Miami actually when I did the other podcast with some dude Noriega shit.
Okay.
And we was talking about comedians, and I'm like, I was like the most lovable comedian on earth. It's Katt Williams. I don't give a fuck how much crack y'all think that nigga smoked.
Oh shit!
And
You
now that
struck a
came
nerve,
out.
man. Come
Exactly,
on,
man.
man. You
And
struck
now
a
he started
nerve.
calling my crackhead.
Yeah, that's
Somebody
crazy.
told him, so now he, that's where that whole
Yeah.
beef started from.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
thing, if you don't do crack, why should it
Yeah.
bother me? Shouldn't even bother you.
But
know
you
what
help
I'm
him make money in Ohio though.
Huh?
You helped him make money in
Oh
Ohio.
yeah, you remember that shit? Yeah, man.
I
So
remember that shit.
it was a moment in Katt's life. It was like around 2000, between 9 and 11, where he was going through something where he was like getting booed everywhere. Did you guys?
Was that when he was running around with Suge Knight? That era?
Nah.
Okay.
It
No,
was
but go ahead,
after
go
that.
ahead though. Go ahead,
Yeah.
continue.
It was, go look. You get a chance. Google Katt Williams.
Oh, he
Like
had fell off at one
he
point.
fell off one
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Like, but the thing,
Damn.
everybody didn't know he fell off.
Oh, okay,
You
okay,
know what I mean?
okay,
So I
okay.
remember this promoter one time. You know, he was booking me to do a show. He said, "Hey, can you get Katt?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I hit up the lady that was handling his stuff. He's like, if you get Katt on this show, Mike, I'll have you open up for him. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, book Katt, $100,000. This is like 2010, 11-ish. 100 grand, pay me like 7,500, very minimum. And I open up for the nigga, and I really got to see her in real life. Like, what the fuck, what was going on with this nigga? He on stage about to like fight people. It was crazy. And he wanted like 10 minutes on
Damn.
stage or something, no more material. He just like
What?
walking. It was really weird. He went to a really weird stage. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But he got it all together now. I'd like to see my people get shit back together. I'm not sure what the nigga was on, but that's part of your life story.
Nah,
You're a
for
real
sure.
You know
one.
what I mean?
On
I
that-
booked that
You're a
nigga
real
on the
one for
show,
that.
give him 100 grand a show. You know what I mean? And then like,
All right,
so
we'll conclude it on that note, on a positive note. Shout out to Katt Williams. Clearly,
Shout out
I got
Katt,
no
man.
issue.
Shout out Katt, man.
I love you, my nigga.
Katt got to come do the damn show. That's your shot right there, man.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
me right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
motorcycle.
I mean, like I said, deep inside, man, it's all love. Cause like I said, I watched him when he first popped up on the scene in Friday After Next, and he saw me in Next Friday before he even came out. So, and we've been grinding for 30 years. So, deep inside, we have love for each other. You know what I mean? But
Real talk.
comedy is comedy. I'm gonna still
Yeah,
roast your ass, nigga, and you go keep doing your thing, motherfucker.
Nah, for sure, for
Word,
sure. Shout
love.
out to Katt. Shout out to y'all. Y'all both living legends in the industry for sure. And with that being said, this is another classic episode in the books of the Growth Process podcast. You already know we got Briefcase Tony in the building.
And when y'all come to Ghana, bring all that. We'll shoot a show in Ghana.
We're doing it.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
Say
doing
less.
it.
All right, yeah.
We
We're
lit.
doing it. It's over with. Barry G in the building.
Yeah,
Spider.
You
And
know
you
that.
already know Mr. Michael Blackson in the building.
Yes, sir.
Try again,
You
motherfucker. We out of here.
Motherfucker.